All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Bashem Kakadash, pushing get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into this morning, dealing with the basis of men, which is Esau Edom. All right, Esau Edom is the basis of men. Okay, and this is a lesson inspired by a lesson done by the beloved elder brother Yashawamba. All right, his latest news and prophecy, when he went into, all right, how Esau is a base man. Okay, and it's becoming more evident that the earth, all right, is ran, all right, by base men. When you look at Esau and how he runs the earth, and for the longest, he was able to project himself, as this all powerful, highly, intelligent and, sophisticated and superior and innovative. Okay, but you really go behind the scenes on how Esau operate, man. This man just popped up. Now there's certain, left hand magic that the Lord allowed this man to be privy to. All right, certain witchcraft and, when it comes to enchantments and, how to manipulate the music and the TV and colors and, to do wickedness. There's certain, all right, wisdom on the left hand side that he has to be, wicked. And the Lord made him crafty in his wickedness, man. Okay? But as far as him being some great nigga in the earth and some great person and superior and, just this all, this all knowing. No, man. Esau overrated, man. Okay? He got a few gimmicks that the Lord allowed this nigga to do, man. But ultimately, we really look at Esau, he overrated, man. Most of this technology is invented by Jake. Okay? He just has the resources to mass produce it, all right, and advance it through research and development. Okay? Like I say, when you go into his NASA program, it was a Jake woman, Katherine Johnson. Okay, look it up. That did the math that put Esau in orbit over here in America, man. Okay, it was an Israelite woman, a mathematician, and she was just a regular Israelite woman. She did her job at NASA, and she would go home and be a wife and a mother in the evening. Okay, but then these Edomites, which ultimately, the Lord, I look at as the Lord doing that, man, and showing that nigga, you a base man. Okay, and Esau has always needed help, okay, to advance his kingdom. Okay, even when he came over here to the Americas, it was Gad that was helping this nigga how to survive, man. Okay, Esau, like I say, Esau ain't no prolific, all-knowing superior. It was just his time to rule. Okay, you go into the dark ages when Esau began to marry into these certain families and, all right, and be amongst the nobles, the true nobles, all right, Jake. All right, Esau had to learn manners, man. Esau had to learn how to wash his ass, man. Okay? So the Lord has built this nigga up, and Esau move around like he just some, all-knowing, all-wise, just have, no, nigga. You been propped up, man. You the basis of men. And that's being found out, man. Look how this nigga runs the kingdom. The planet Earth is a reflection of Esau or who he is, man. Look at the planet Earth. Violence, lewdness, PDF files, diseases, poverty. All right, you have the extremely rich and the extremely impoverished, man. This nigga has no honor, man. Okay, and Esau's a coward. The elites, what do? They start wars and hide in bunkers, man. Okay, I don't got no respect for them niggas, man. I'm not impressed. The closer we get to the end and the more the Lord reveals to Esau, man, I'm not impressed with this nigga, man. And like I said, when you start to research and go behind the scenes, man, I'm not impressed with nothing this nigga do, man. Okay? This nigga don't impress me at all, man. You know, in no kind of way. Okay, a $250 military fighting a nation with no air force, and I'm supposed to call this nigga tough. Okay, IDF. Okay, you know they blow up. All right, civilians. They do airstrikes. I'm supposed to be impressed because you shot 100 million. I mean, 100 missiles in 10 minutes at civilian infrastructure. Okay, but then when you fight a real military, you get your ass handed to you, man. Okay? So you look at these devils and how they move, man. The Lord just propped these niggas up, man. The Lord put the fear of these nations, the fear of Esau on these nations. He allowed Esau to tap into their weaponry, you know, the atomic bomb, and this nigga to use it. And, you know, the elites came up with this petrodollar system, all right, that allowed America to just have this, you know, this unlimited budget, okay, when it came to military spending and CIA and intelligence and technology. Okay, it was the Lord building this nigga up, man. The Lord was pumping this nigga up, man. Just so the Lord can show his power when he judged this man. And then the Lord showing that this nigga ain't all that by having other nations, all right, lesser, inferior nations militarily, okay, really get at this man. You see? The elites, you know, they manipulate, you know, both sides of the war. But you start these war, but you go in the bunker, nigga, manipulating the economy, nigga. I'm not impressed about you manipulating the economy, okay? After you, you know, instigate these wars. You know, I'm more impressed with the men that's out there on the front line, generals that's out there strategizing. You know, especially inferior militaries, all right, that's prevailing against this nigga, man. You know, I'm more into that. That's my thing. Like, you know, you got different aspects. You know, brothers got different perspectives and viewpoints, man. You know, but that's my perspective. You know, I don't see the elites as doing nothing great. You know, I watch them niggas because, of course, the MOTB. You know, just to see what avenue they gonna spin. Okay, with this war. Okay, but ultimately, man, I'm not impressed with them niggas, man. You know, but let's get into the lesson, man. My my rant dealing with them niggas. But let's go here. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. It said, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the Holy One, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the bases of men." The bases of men. So the Lord set up the bases of men to run the world. That nigga still a base man. I don't care how much witchcraft this nigga know. Alright, I don't care how much manipulation and psychological warfare that this nigga's into. Nigga, you a base man. You a man of no honor. You a liar. You a PDF file. Okay, you're lewd. Okay, you're a mo. Okay, don't give a damn how much wealth this nigga got. How many missiles this nigga got. How much insight he got with Satan, nigga. You still the basis of men, nigga. Okay? You know, I don't respect none of that shit. Don't give a damn if you have a meeting with 20 saints, nigga. You still the base of men. Nigga, I'm not impressed with nothing you do because you're the complete, you embody everything that the Lord hates, man. And we hate what the Lord hates, man. Okay? And it says, let's go into this word and read in NLT. It said, "For this has been decreed by the messengers, it is commanded by the holy ones, so that everyone may know that the Most High rules over the kingdoms of the world. He gives them to anyone he chooses, even the lowliest of people, man. The lowliest of people. Okay, and Esau, the lowliest of people, man. He's not innovative, man. Okay? Esau, like, when he came over to the Americas, man, if Gad, all right, wasn't mentoring this nigga, okay, Esau would have died off, man. Okay? So he's not this high IQ nigga, if you didn't have help, because even when we look at the planet Earth, man, there's a lot of talent that keeps the planet Earth, you know, going. This nigga just is propped up in power, you know, and so everything that's you know, we look at the convenience. Cause like I say, the um the daily inventions that make life convenient, man. A lot of it came from Jake, man. Okay, Esau, he just able to make it into a corporation. You know, especially in the early 1900s, late 1800s, he was able to just buy Jake inventions outright. Okay, put his name on it, put his, making the corporations to Edomites. Okay, a corporation, Edomite corporations. Okay, General Electric, man. You look at the things that make the refrigerator work. Okay, a lot of it come from Jake, man. Even AI, a lot of the mathematics that make AI work, that make AI learn, they come from Jake, man. Them be Jake computer engineers, man. Jake this and that computer science that make this stuff go, man. Okay, but what Esau just manipulates these things and use it for wickedness, man. Okay, and he's gonna get judged for that, man. You see, but this nigga is the basis of men. Okay, Esau couldn't survive on the world by himself, man. Okay, he would die off, man. Okay, let's go to this word base. Okay, in the Hebrew is shapal, which means low or lowliest. Okay, so this is the lowest level man. All right, it's the lowest level man. That's a low frequency, man. Cause how can you be wise? All right, but dealing with little boys is, a thing. You go deal with little boys. You go deal with newborns. You circumcise, all right, babies with your teeth, man. How can we look at this nigga as wise, man? Cause he can sneak poison in the food. Cause he can, alter and manipulate music frequency and have, people in war mode, man. Okay, this nigga just wicked. You know? Well, how can we look at this man as wise when this nigga pollutes the earth with, all right, this nigga does nuclear tests in the earth, radiation. You see? So you really look at this man, this nigga ain't got it, man. This nigga is the basis of men. This nigga is really low level. Okay, the Lord just been propping this nigga up, man. And like I say, he got his things he can do. Okay? But when you look at the technology, man, even the surveillance, you're able to watch. Well, who came up with that technology for the camera? It was a Jake woman that came up with the home security system. Okay? And Esau can take it and turn it into what? GPS. Even GPS. Um, I can't think. There's another Israelite woman that came up with the mathematics that mapped the whole globe for Jake. So Esau GPS. He's able to watch and track everything real time. It was the Jake woman. Matter of fact, we call about it, man. I'm not giving this nigga no credit, man. I'm a hater. You see, I'm a hater. All right. Uh, let me see. Woman. Cause she just died. She was in her 90s, man. And she's still, a beautiful Israelite woman. Elderly woman. That's her name, Gladys West. Gladys West, the mathematician who developed mathematical models for the global positioning system, man. It was Jake, man. And I think she was in her 90s. I showed her before. But that's who came up with the math. All right, the Lord put the spirit on her to come up with the math for GPS, man. Okay, like Esau, like I say, he's able to track things real time. Well, who came up with that math? Okay, for you to put so between her and Katherine Johnson, all right, with two Israelite women that came up with the math, all right, to get this nigga in orbit, and then how to through the globe, the circular, what you call it, the circumference of the globe. You know, she incorporated the circumference of the globe to map out, GPS. But yeah, man. Okay, everything that this nigga is boasting, like we do, nigga, you really get into it, nigga. If this didn't happen, nigga, you won't be able to do that, man. Okay? Well, I say the scripture say, well, Jake is the former of all things, man. Okay? So, yep, it says working with the naval proving ground, she used complex algorithms and computer programming in the 1970s and 1980s to create highly accurate calculation of the Earth's shape, which are essential for satellite navigation, man. And that's what guide a lot of these missiles is GPS. These drones we see in these airstrikes and is the GPS. Okay, what they call these precision, PGMs, which are precision guided munitions. Okay, but Gladys West, also with Katherine Johnson, played a major part of this devil being able to do this, man. Surveillance state that he wanted to set up. Okay, even the way that these computers, all right, speak to these big processors, because data centers are just these big processors, man. You remember the desktop joint they used to have with the big processor on the side. This the data center is just a big building full of these big processors, man. And the math, to make those computers compute all this, these process all this data, man. Jake had a lot to do with that, man. How quick it is. Okay, I forgot the Jake name. We did lesson on it not too long ago, man. But yeah, man, he saw the basis of men. Let's go here. All right. Let's go to. Damn, that nigga mad. Goddamn right, man. I don't like that nigga get no credit, man. Because he been lying so goddamn long. He be capping, man. This nigga be capping, man. All right, this tech ass New World Order shit. This nigga ain't like the shit they play in the movie. Like this nigga, you ain't the Lord finna break this shit up, man. Okay, this nigga ain't got too much further to go, man. He gonna get to the point to where he gonna crash the system and make the MOTB mandatory, man. Okay. But all this Hollywood shit, like he think he finna be on, man, most time finna break this shit up, man. Okay? He saw be capping like he, and this stuff that he got that we don't know, but even that shit flawed. Even the shit that he got that we don't know, that shit flawed, man. Okay? He got flaw in it, man. Okay? Even the whole AI thing, man, I'm not impressed with the AI shit. I'm more impressed, all right, with someone who has experience in the field. That's an actual expert in the field. You see, whether it's agriculture, herbs or whatever. I'm more experienced. I'm more, in tune with someone that has an actual authentic experience and the wisdom from the experience or something, man. All right, not asking this nigga what we use it. I don't use it nowhere near as much as I used to chat. So I then went back to what you call it, combing through, the raw data, myself, man. Like keep me sharp, and chat, that shit make you lazy. But we use it. It's a tool, we use this word, not abuse it, man. But I find myself starting to depend on this. I had to kind of go back, to the analog mode, man. Combing through information. It's just because, it's good for timing. The Lord, even the chat, that's good, brother, because we can get on there and come up with, a lot of information quick, precise. You can kind of modify it. Then the spirit on brothers to know what to ask and how to corner it to get certain information out, which, they can start altering that. But, yeah, it's good. It's a good usage. It can be useful. It can be useful, man. Okay, but how people are so hyped up about it, man, nah, man. Shit ain't all that, man. Just chat GP, just souped up Google, Job 30:1, it says, but now They that are younger than me have me in derision, whose fathers I will have disdain to have seen with the dogs of my flock, to have set with the dogs of my flock. Okay? So when you go in this word younger, and it's speaking of Esau, man, because this word younger, when you go into younger, all right, in the Hebrew, okay, hold on. All right, in the Hebrew, it's Sa'ayar, okay, which means little, insignificant, young, little, insignificant, man. Okay, ignoble. You see, ignoble. Okay, so this devil is truly insignificant, man. If the Lord didn't give this man this sword and this technology, this money, this nigga would be insignificant in the earth, man. Because even Jake, without none of these things, man, Jake is still a headliner. Okay? Jake is still demands attention in their low condition, man. But if Esau didn't have these things, this nigga would be insignificant, man. Irrelevant in the earth. Okay? Esau would be irrelevant if the Lord didn't set it up. Alright? For prophecy to have this nigga in rulership, man. Okay? Esau trash. As a people, Esau is trash, and that's why eventually we gonna burn the trash, man. Okay, after that 1,000 years, man. Okay? So it says insignificant. And what the Lord said he was gonna do to this devil. Alright. At the end of this thing, gonna make this nigga insignificant, man. Okay, so let's go here to Jeremiah 40. No, yeah, Jeremiah 49. Okay, Jeremiah 49 and 14 says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen, saying, gather you together and come against her and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. And this is what we're seeing. The Lord is cutting this man down. The Lord lifted this man up, and now we're seeing this man being brought down, man. And he's looking like a goddamn imbecile, man. Okay? The moves that this nigga's making in the end, man, the Lord got this man looking foolish out here, man. Okay? And I don't give a damn what type of scheme that the elites got in the background. That shit finna fail, man. And it's gonna be embarrassing, man. Okay? The elites really, you see how they moving. Me personally, I don't, they gonna make their moves, and they gonna have people, begging for the MOTB, but as the Lord has elevated us in understanding, man, it's really not significant what these niggas got going on, because the Lord is bringing these terrible times, man. Esau was just a tool within. You see, if we're in good standings with our power, man, nothing that Esau is doing should be great like that. You see, our people that is not in good standings with Yahweh Shem Al Shad, it's going to be magnificent what this nigga got going on. Okay? But as we're in tune with our power, man, because we got Yahweh Shah, man. Esau still can't duplicate what Yahweh Shah was doing. So you look at this nigga now, the Neuralink, a nigga in a wheelchair playing goddamn Atari with the brain chip in. Nigga, get out of here. That's low level as hell. Okay? Yahweh Shah was healing with words, speaking healing into existence. And people be actually whole, man. Nigga in a wheelchair with a brain chip playing the Atari. Okay? StarCraft. Nigga, get out of here. All this technology and money, and that's what you done came up with all this goddamn time, man. Okay? And we supposed, shut up. Okay? Not impressed, nigga. And we finna boo this nigga off the stage like the Apollo. Sandman. Okay? And you go into the word small. And that's why these nations just finna wear this nigga out, man. Okay? And Yahweh Shai gonna come and finalize you and these nations. Okay? You go into the word small in the Hebrew. it's significant. All right, the word in the Hebrew, katan, it says what? Young, small, insignificant, unimportant, man. The Most High is making Esau unimportant. Okay, making this nigga unimportant in the earth, man. You know, and we're gonna see that increase more and more. As things, escalate, man. The Most High gonna make this nigga unimportant, irrelevant more and more. So that's the point. You know, I think I've said enough. You know, but Lord will, you brothers. All right, and if you sisters edified, to the next time I say shalom, Kwame Mashallah, Abba, Soon, Shalom.